To quote Shakespeare. But actually, in the government shutdown, I want to report that MOAA has joined more than a dozen military veterans organizations on October the 14th to send a joint letter. And that's the military coalition, which is also 54, to urge the Congress to get on the ball in face of the ongoing federal shutdown. Basically, they said the time for emergency fix is over, and members of all 8 uniformed services deserve stability to allow for a mission-focused force. So that message is getting out, and our MOAA is up there doing that. One of the things that happened is that IAVA, which is the Iraq-Afghanistan Veterans of America, which is one of the 54, went up there on the Hill and has said weeks of uncertainty have taken a toll on their service members and their families and the civilians who support them. And that's absolutely true. I went out to Arnold, and they're open about 2 hours a day. Even the support service, the VA is open there. But you can see the strain there, and there are folks there that are expected to go out and put their lives on the line for this country, and they deserve to be able to be paid at the end of the month. President Trump did October 15th, but that's a stopgap measure, so they have got to get this passed. My request to you is call your congressperson, even if they are Republican or Democrat or Libertarian, whatever they are, and urge them to come to closure on this. But we got it. There are matters of principle there. I'm not asking them to give up their principles, but they've got to find a way to get the government funded and take the petty squabbles off the table. Stop acting like first graders. COLA. The Bureau of Labor Statistics will report that reveal the final figure for the COLA increase for military retirees, Social Security and VA disability benefit, and that will happen. It was supposed to happen the 14th, but it'll actually be, the Consumer Price Index will be published on October the 24th at 8:30 a.m. Eastern. So, and of course, all that stuff's been dormant since the federal shutdown, but they are going to do that in spite of the shutdown. So you'll know kind of where you're going to be next year on that. Nothing else, no other releases or any kind of payments will be discussed until the shutdown is completed. But this allows the Social Security Administration to meet the statutory deadlines necessary to ensure the accurate and timely payment of benefits. So that's why they're doing this. They've got to continue to do the things and keep those up. Major Richard Starr Act. Well, ran into a speed bump again. To eliminate the unfair offset for combat injured medically retired veterans, because they force a portion of the retired pay when they receive VA disability. It's stalled again in Congress, and right now, the Senate version of Bill 1032 was introduced on October the 8th for consideration by unanimous consent on the Senate floor. The effort would have moved the bill forward for a House vote, but was blocked by an objection. So what are the objections? Well, the objections are costs too much and it's double dipping. Anybody that was out during the Nixon administration remembers about double dipping and how that was a big deal, and they just said, well, SES, retired people at military, you had an offset in your government service pay, and so fortunately that got removed, and at SES I was real happy. But we need to call our senators and representatives and tell them that the debt we owe combat injured veterans needs to come now, and it cannot be just ignored. We've got to bring that to closure. So I urge you to go on the website there and the MOAA advocacy, hit the issue button. It'll say, write your congressman, and you do it right online there. It goes right straight out, and it's quick, easy, and painless. So, but with the continued coordinated effort pushing our legislators to get this passed, we should be able to make that our vote count. There's about 5.5 million veterans that belong to veterans organizations. That's a lot of votes in a lot of states. So I just urge you to do that. The Richard Starr Act, by the way, It's Senate 1032 and House Resolution 2102. So, but you can get all that stuff on the website, and I would urge you to contact your representative, urge them to get this passed, use their persuasive powers on the floors of the House and the Senate to get their colleagues to fall in line with this and stop the bogus obstructions that are there, because they're not truly. I mean, it's such a small impact on the budget compared to some of the other programs that we hardly notice. In hundreds of billions of dollars, it's a small impact, but it's an impact that makes a difference on the people who gave a whole lot on the battlefield. So we need to do that. Okay, that's the legislative update, in a nutshell. Now, I've gotten some interest. Several people have talked to me about going in 2026 to the Edelweiss and doing a military retiree escape tour. We did that 2 years ago, and we had a whale of a good time. We raised money for the scholarship fund, and it's enormously cheap. Now, somewhere around December, January, the Edelweiss will open up these, and it goes like in a heartbeat, flash of the eye to do that. What it is it's 10 days, all expense paid up front, room, tours, breakfast, transportation, welcome and departure dinner, and they do basically everything for you. And we actually had a happy hour there up in the atrium where we went out and got some snacks and beer and wine and served it every night. And the profits of that were donated to the scholarship fund. Not everybody on our tour was from the MOAA chapter here. So we actually got some outside money for that, but every cent of that went to that. We handed it to Betty at the end of the tour. So it's great. You'll get to see Oktoberfest, the castles, over Ammergau. We went to Switzerland, Italy, Austria, Germany, Bavaria, down to the Bodensee. And so it's a great thing. The fellowship was it's everlasting. I mean, you'll remember that for the rest of your life. So I will be putting out, as soon as I get a little bit more clarity from the Edelweiss, I'll give our secretary an email to put out, and hopefully, Melinda, we can get a little blurb in the next newsletter. Anybody can contact me, and I'll go through the whole thing. I'll actually broker the whole deal. You don't have to do anything but pay your money and show up. And it was very easy, very painless. So if you think about it, prayerfully, we'll get some interest here. What did we have last time about?
29.
29, yeah, we had 29 from our group, and then there was 11, 20, 21, it was 40. There was 40 all in total, so we had other folks, so, but it was great, and so.
What are the dates, Phil?
Well, it'll be towards the middle to the end of September. I think last time it was like 15 September to 6 October or something like that. And we were right in the height of Oktoberfest. They actually drove us up there and picked us up. We didn't have to do anything other than do that, and they provided a van to do that. So they bent over backwards. The food and the entertainment's great there. All of the scenery, it's just world class. It's a 5-star hotel for about a double room will cost you about $169, no tax, a night. And you have a view of 5 mountains and the Zugspitze, and it's just great. You got a hot tub now. They got a 10-meter hot tub and all kinds of good stuff. Wow. You can go out here and scamper around and drink wine. No fun at all. Anyways, if you have some interest, let me know. When we get the email out, it'll have my email, and we'll work on it, see if we can make it happen.
All right, man, that sounds fun.
Oh, and by the way, it was about, per couple last year, was around $3,995. Tax, title, license, transportation, and everything. So, and there is no room tax, and there is no tax